Alright, so this video has been a long time coming, I guess. What is going on, Socktor? Welcome back to another video. We're kind of deep into preseason at this point. It is December. The season ended about a month ago, and I've been kind of letting it simmer and letting all the dust settle on Filled to Diamond from Season 10. What I've learned, what happened, and just a breakdown of the entire situation and some patterns that might actually interest you. Some patterns that I noticed, some interesting facts that you may not know or you may be interested to know about the season and the series as a whole. And I just want to wrap a big nice bow on the entire series. We had over 55 episodes, or 55-ish episodes, over 6 million views, and this series has meant a lot to me, and you could probably guess why. It's because it actually worked this year. I think this was the third or fourth attempt that I've made on Filled to Diamond. Every single other attempt has been incredibly fruitless, one of which I got to 74 LP in Platinum 1 and tilted down to Plat 3 in a single day. Yahoo! What? Yeah! So the background footage is a little bit, it's just there for the set piece. It may be a little bit of a wild rift because I'll be honest, I moved last week. You're probably wondering about the background. I actually moved in the last week and I do not have a lot of footage built up, and my other PC is broken, which is why the Samira video that I've been working on is not happening because it's all on that machine. But also I had some footage from Wild Rift where I was popping off, and I'll be damned if I'm not freaking using it or finding some method of figuring out a way to use it, because I hit some sick insects on Lee Sin. By the way, I just want to say thank you to everybody who gave mega support to the Wild Rift video, the Wild Rift stream that I did yesterday. On top of that as well, the second channel as well, who's interested in Wild Rift. Like, I'm not gonna force you, but it's just, I don't know, if you're interested in me and I'm really excited about it, hopefully that excitement can get a little bit infectious and you're like, ooh, maybe I'm interested in it too. Regardless, I think like this may be a video that could be important to maybe quite a few people that are maybe struggling to climb, or there's some things in that I want to drive home about playing ranked and playing League of Legends that I think may be useful. Now, I'm not going to try and give you the tips. Like, for instance, I can't give you any actual mechanical or any tips that, like, you can maybe utilize in an actual game. It's more so, like, mindset stuff and what I think is a good idea for how to actually get your LP up a little bit. I barely got myself into Diamond, and I sure as hell don't think I'm good at the game. But I still think there's certain things that you can maybe take away from this that might affect what you do. So let's break down the statistics of what happened in Filled to Diamond. Where did I play? What did I get to do? So I played 65 games of top, 38 games of AD carry or bot lane, 34 games of jungle, 32 games of support, and 6 games on mid throughout the entire course of the 175. I think I've missed a couple of games here and there, because I was counting it down a list. There could be ones that I've missed out, or because I wasn't sure what role I was playing them in, but that's pretty much the gist of it. We managed to barely push ourselves to Diamond 4 0 LP. There were some champions that, like, I definitely did do some standout performances on. Garen had a 63 win rate in 19 games. He was my boy. Ezreal, bizarrely enough, bot lane was really good for me. I had a 67% win rate on Caitlyn. I had in 6 games, 83% on Ezreal. Obviously, Chad Jana, she had a 57% win rate. I had a good couple of champions that were, like, reliable enough to me, wherein I was confident that I could at least not end the game and maybe even be of service to my team in some fashion. So what did I feel? Like, those 170, 180, 190 games, what did I feel like I learned from that experience? Basically nothing. It's hard because I understand that improving at something isn't necessarily a tangible thing that you can figure out. Like, you could be playing guitar for a month. You start, you're sucky, your fingers hurt, and you can barely play chords. You play it for a month. The only difference is maybe your fingers hurt a little bit less when you play those chords because they've started to callus, right? Like, that's not like a perceivable improvement at guitar. You may be playing the chords just as bad, but you're like one small step closer to getting better at it because you're able to play for longer. You're able to play without hurting your fingers a little bit. I kind of feel like that's what's happened with, you know, my Filled to Diamond here. I think the worst part about the whole experience is I kind of went into Filled to Diamond expecting to come out the other end knowing what I was going to main. I thought, maybe I'll really like jungle, and I'll start becoming a jungle main, and I'll be able to play jungle a lot. Or maybe I'll just get really good at top, because I ended up playing mostly top anyway. So I was like, maybe I'll play, maybe I'll be really good at top, and that'll be fun. Or maybe I'll become an AD carry again, because I used to actually play a lot of AD carry, but AD carry kind of blows, and I'm sure not rewarded for playing it. So unless you want to play like Jhin, or like, I think there's like one other character maybe that's pretty okay in ADC right now. Or hell, I really like support. Like, supporting is a fun role to me. But the more I was playing and the more that I was like swapping roles around a lot, I obviously my baseline knowledge for each of those roles went up, and I think that like I'm of a decent level, maybe like worse some than others. Like maybe like I don't even think I'm a diamond 4 anything, to be honest, but like a platinum top, a platinum, you know, support, a platinum ADC, maybe like a low platinum mid, and like a freaking silver jungler, because I'm terrible at jungle. But I came out the other end as confused as ever. I thought maybe I'd like find a new champion that I really enjoy and that I'd want one trick. I thought it would be Tryndamere, because I've been playing a lot of Tryndamere and I really like him, but it turns out that I'm actually kind of bad on him, and I just don't think he like suits my playstyle. I had like a lot of like pushback internally, because I obviously got coached in like some of my roles, and like I was getting coached by Nice, who's a great coach and he's a great guy, but he obviously has this super like selfish be out for yourself and play the game that you want to play, you know, and like forget about your team. They're just there. Make sure that you get all the advantages that you can. And I feel like it just fights against every single League of Legends instinct as a person as well. Every instinct that I have, I'm far more like hovered towards Malphite, Ornn, Maokai, tanks, champions that benefit my team in some way, even if it's at my own expense. But I'll like I'll happily trade, you know, my death for a couple of kills, my death for an objective. Whereas I think if I continued down that selfish playstyle, I would never go in on fights unless I specifically knew that I could clean up, even if it meant that my entire team die. I just don't think that I'm like a carry person. Some people like are, you know, they're carriers, right? They like to play carry champs. They're good at carry champs. They play like Riven a lot. They're used to playing champions that snowball. That's totally fine. I just don't know if it's necessarily me. But I still don't know what it is that I need to be doing or what I want to be doing. One interesting fact I actually noticed, looking at all the games I have. So I got mid lane 6 times, which is really bizarre. Obviously, like, I think a lot of people, if you've ever filled, you probably know that you very rarely ever get filled to mid. I think there's like a weird mechanic with the autofill system when you're in promos, because like having looked over like the footage and looked over when I actually got mid, I think the only times I ever got mid and filled to diamond the entire time was when I was in promos to another division or in promos to another rank. So when you're filling, obviously it will just try and slot you into like the least popular roles, where mid is obviously going to be one of the most popular, so you're probably never going to get that in your day-to-day. But when you're in promos, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but when you're in your promos, it gives you priority pick on your secondary and your main role. So if you pick mid-top, you're far more likely to get mid-top than you are like to get auto-filled, right? Or you're basically never going to get auto-filled in your promos, as far as I'm aware. But if you're filling in your promos, I have a theory that instead of it prioritizing, you know, your main roles that you normally play or just filling you normally, I think it gives you a 20% chance to get any role. So you have a 20% chance top, jungle, mid, support, AD carry. And I think the only, if my logic is correct, and maybe some writer can like, well, I don't know if you want to spill the secret sauce here. I don't think it's like secret sauce necessarily, but I think that the only reason that I have gotten 6 games on mid going from like gold to diamond is because during promos I rolled a 1 in 5 chance 6 times in the 20 or so divisions I had to climb up through. And even then 20 or so times in multiple games as well. So like you're probably looking at like 60 games of like rolling a dice, and I got it 6 times, so like a 1 in 10 or what have you. So I think that's super duper interesting. Kind of weird. I don't know if anybody can confirm that, but nevertheless. But yeah, I'm coming out of it a little bit lost. Many people have been asking like, are you planning on doing this in Season 11? I have absolutely no idea, to be perfectly honest with you. It was a bit of a struggle. If I was going to do it, maybe I would do it differently. For some reason, and I guess it was for ease of access, because it was just easier to record and easier to do, I chose to do 99% of the entire thing solo. Obviously, if you watched the final episode of Full of Diamond, I ended up duoing in the last like 10 games because it was the last week of the season. People get incredibly desperate throughout in the last like week or so when people are trying to get their final ranks. Especially, it can get incredibly competitive in the mid to high plat region where people are fighting to get diamond like 4, or for some reason diamond 4s are queuing as well. I have no idea why. Like it was incredibly frustrating seeing like somebody who's got like 3,000 games diamond 4 and they're playing the last 4 days of the season, and it's like, oh, what do you think you're gonna get? Diamond 3? Then you're gonna get diamond 2? Are you kidding me? You're hard locked here, brother. Like, just let me move on to diamond. You don't have to play, just you're done for the season, dude. seeing those patterns change, seeing even like pick patterns change a little bit. Like I felt like I got a lot less jungle at the end of the season, and I think it's because like people are, I think like it's pretty common knowledge or pretty commonly accepted that like jungle is the most impactful role. So I'm sitting here like not getting jungle necessarily as much. I'm getting a little bit more support or top, what have you, because people are getting crazy desperate. They're picking up jungle because they think that they can carry with it, and it's just maybe not working. For whatever reason, I decided it was a good idea to like solo 170 games of 180 that I played. This is a terrible idea. I think like the one thing that I want to drive home in this entire series is that I made a crippling, critical mistake. I probably could have halved the games that I played if I actually took it upon myself to find a friend that I enjoy playing with, is like at my skill level or maybe like slightly above or slightly below, and just like having fun. Like I had fun playing Full of Diamond, don't get me wrong, because like I don't think I enjoy playing ranked, and I don't think it's like even when bad things are happening, I think it could be an experience that is fun. And I think that if you did your best, that every game is a dub if you take something from it to some degree. As we trudge towards the end of the season, people start getting a little bit more vicious, a little bit more I don't care anymore, while simultaneously caring a little bit too much. I think if you genuinely want to climb, you gotta do it. Yeah, maybe it's less respectable amongst people that don't care's opinion. People that you shouldn't care about's opinion, sorry, I should say. Do as much as you can. It's there for a reason. Yeah, challenger players don't get to duo queue or whatever because there's challenger. Who cares, dude? You want to get out of silver again to gold so you can get the skin? Freaking duo queue with your friend who is either around the same rank as you, a little bit low, a little bit better. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're like a little bit lower skill level or even a lot of bit of skill level difference to you, where they're like considerably worse than you, right? You do not fully perceive the advantage of having somebody in Discord that you can talk to, somebody that you can communicate with and like have that advantage over the enemy team, until you've had a full team of dribblers who are complete and utter specimens that are just completely running amok. They have no idea what they're doing. They're not grouping, they're not playing for the team, they're not doing nothing, right? See, having just one person that is ready to go in with you, one person that is ready to commit to a fight with you, one person that is there for you if you're in jungle getting Scuttle Crab and like they're mid, that's gonna be able to roam. Because I swear, dude, the enemy team, as much as you get teammates on your team that are never going to communicate, they don't care about jungle, like about mid priority to help junglers with a scuttle, the enemy team has all of them as well, right? Nobody wants to do anything that involves altruism, right? They don't want to be altruistic in any capacity. Altruistic is like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one, right? Or the fewer the one. So like they don't want to do anything that would help somebody else have a better game, which would then make them have a better game just because it makes them have a worse game at the time, right? So like if you have one person that is ready to give up 5 CS to help you 2v1 a Master Yi who's contesting a Scuttle Crab, you get a pick. Yeah, I mean, even if you don't get a pick, you get flash out. That is so much bigger than you can even possibly imagine, because I guarantee every person that does that, and it's so common and it's so frustrating, but every person that would have done that on your team, like that one extra person that isn't going to do that now, is probably on the enemy team, and they're doing it as we speak, dude. People are so easily tilted in this game. People give up so easily. Like, I try not to talk too much in the game, but like, you know, I'll have conversations with people like, you know, some Garen top who's super angry, and our entire team are doing fantastic. Like, mid lane's winning, jungle's doing well, bot lane's starting to snowball, but Garen's 1-3, and he's starting to get a little bit angry. He's starting to throw his toys out the pram a little bit. I'm like, would you rather lose and keep your pride than win and get carried? And they literally just say like, yes, I'd rather. I don't want to win if I'm not the person that's carrying the game. Like, there's so much main character syndrome in ranked, it's absolutely crazy. I think being carried is like a genuine skill. So like, I think dueling with somebody and learning how and when to get carried. Like, if you watch back Filthy Diamond, I think the one thing that I am not bad at, like maybe one of my only marketable skills, if I was putting together a looking for team to join an LCS team, number one would be I am carryable, right? Because like so many, if you can watch it back yourself, you can have a look through the playlist, you'll see multiple games, many games where I say my team's doing well, all I have to do is not feed and help them out, right? All I have to do is try not to be a burden on my team, and it's a free dub, dude. Even if I am losing my lane hard, if I'm down 40 CS, 40 CS is 40 CS, but the tower's still up, I'm still alive, like, that's all that matters in my head. All I need to do is not be, like, a dead weight. Like, I don't want to be the person that's tied to your leg while you're trying to, climb Mount Everest, and the person's like, I really ought to cut this person free and just go on my own, otherwise I'm not going to make it. I don't want to be that person, and I think that that's one of the few things that I may actually be halfway decent at when it comes to League of Legends. But it is a skill, and it's not one that everybody, like, actually has the ability to do. So many times you see people with, like, mega egos, but it's not necessarily, they're not egotistical people, I don't think. It's just that you're a piece of text on a screen. Like, who cares what you think, really? It's like taking, like, I don't care what people think to the extreme. Like, nobody actually cares about the person behind the game in any capacity, and that's not like a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, it does dehumanize people ever so slightly, but it also means that, like, I'm not, like, if I'm willing to criticize, it's not because I know anything about the person. It's purely based on what we're seeing in that little tiny frame of the game. I don't think I'm gonna make a major difference with this video, but it's just something that I've been simmering on for like the last like month or so, waiting to just push out all the thoughts about it and just like splurge onto the internet. None of this is scripted, by the way, apart from me like writing down exactly how many games I played and what champions they were on. I didn't even put the win rate on most of the champions, to be honest. Like, one game on Yuumi, and then I was like, nope, I'm done. I remember losing that game. But I just gave up on Yuumi straight after that one. Yeah, I haven't scripted this at all. It's just a lot of thoughts. But, like, I have no idea if it's going to be back. I have no idea what I want to do if I do bring it back. It might be something that I could try on, like, Wild Rift or something. That would be interesting, because I start from, like, Iron in that one. And that one may be quite fun to do. Which you can please go check out the second channel in the little eye at the top right. Click that, you can find the second channel where we're going to be posting some Wild Rift stuff. I just wanted to wrap a big bow up on it, because like the series ended kind of quickly. I didn't really get a chance to like talk about everything, which is kind of the point. I wanted it to be like, we did it, whatever, but like I didn't expect it to be a month after the season ended that I would talk about it again. But thank you so much to everybody who watched every single episode of Filthy Diamond. I did not expect it to succeed. I did not expect it to do well. But some people liked it, and that's really all that matters. We're gonna continue on with our wacky shenanigans. I'm sorry this is like more of a, I don't even know if it's like a serious video, dude. I think it's actually like maybe kind of valuable in some degree. But as you can tell, like, I'm in an empty room right now. I've just moved. I don't have a backlog of footage. I had a massive backlog of footage before I moved, but that backlog has come to an end. Yeah, also I'm trying to get some stuff on the second channel as well. Finally doing 2 videos a day, which is pogged. Hard, but pogged. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was somewhat insightful. To maybe someone. Dual Q, abuse dual Q, and keep a good mental attitude, because Even if your duo is bad, if he's your friend and you can have fun and laugh, you will never ever take a loss as badly as you would if you were doing it solo. When I was playing solo, I was miserable in the last 2 weeks. I enjoyed it up until the last 2 weeks, and then I became miserable, and then I played with friends, and it was very fun, and there was lots of laughter, and it was great seeing how bad people actually were when you are 2v1ing them and they overextend. Have a fantastic day. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you on the other channel. Maybe I'll see you next season as well. See ya.